Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Well, happy Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about Hudbay Minerals. We purchased it back July 2022 at a good price of 4.77, and then we ended up selling it off
Mhm.
at about 10.446.
Right.
But let's get into why we purchased it, Jeff, back in 2022.
Yeah, this is a stock I've been following for the longest time. And the copper market is one we've written about before. The
Mhm.
fundamentals are attractive. There's going to be a significant copper deficit in the years to come as demand outstrips supply. The reasons for that are electrification. Whether you're a fan of it or not, it's happening. So
Yeah,
that will require copper. And to roll out artificial intelligence, that will require copper as well to build,
massive.
yeah, massive
Mhm.
to build out transmission lines, data centers, you name it. So we liked the copper space in general. And Hudbay just happened to be the stock we followed closest.
Right. And Hudbay, I guess, is predominantly produced. I guess all the metals are produced in Peru, US, Canada.
Yeah, Peru's the big mine there, the Constancia mine. That's their largest market. Canada is set follows, and then the US they're developing.
Okay.
Um,
So we did sell it off at a good return, but is it something that I think we might look at again to purchase for our investors?
yeah, so why don't we talk very briefly about technical analysis because we had a good discussion last week with Jack Muscat about just psychology and some of the cognitive mistakes that investors make when they're
Mhm.
investing their money.
Right.
So when we buy something, we are fundamentalists. So that means we do fundamental research on the company. We look at pros, cons of the company, as well as their financial metrics. That is financial analysis, that is fundamental research. Some people don't do it that way. Instead, they follow what's called technical analysis. Technical analysis is what we were talking about last week. It ignores what the company does and it only focuses on the charts. So a technician is looking at pricing patterns.
Right.
Pricing patterns can tell you a lot about a stock, or it can tell you a lot about the person who's buying and selling the stock, but it
Mhm.
doesn't tell you anything about the company.
And there seems to be, looking at that, the technical analysis, looking at the chart, looks like there's like a threshold of about $11 per share.
Yeah, and
Seems to
and
be,
if you look at
yeah.
the chart, and we have one in the blog, if you look at that, go back to the very beginning. Notice every time it hits around $11, it sells
Mhm.
off. That's called resistance. So if you're doing technical analysis, that's important to you. If you're doing fundamental research, you wouldn't look at that. We bought the stock based on our fundamental analysis of the copper market and Hudbay Minerals. We decided to sell it based on the technicals because $11 is very strong resistance.
Mhm.
And we can go into the reason why it is resistance too.
Right.
So think of it this way. If you've bought a stock in the past and it went down immediately after, I bet you sold it as soon as it got back to the price you paid. The price
Mhm.
shouldn't matter. It just doesn't. But it does to you because you had lost money and you just wanted your money back. So if you bought Hudbay at 11 and let's say it dropped to $9, you just want it to go back to 11. And as soon as it gets to 11, you're probably going to sell it. That is what's happened in this with this stock. It's in this trading range of $5 to $11 for the past decade. So we mentioned at the beginning of this webcast, we bought this stock at $4.77 for well, for suitable clients.
Mhm.
And then we sold it as it approached 11.
And today it's trading about what? Just under 11, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
just
10
under 11.
point.
Yeah, you know what? After we sold it, it ran way up and I was kicking myself. But now it's come back to around the price we sold it at. We took the money and we bought Brookfield Infrastructure, which has gone up quite substantially. So the clients
Mhm,
benefited from the trade.
mhm.
But if it dropped below, say nine, if it got to around $9, we'd probably trade this again.
Yeah,
Commodity stocks are trades. All right. These are not
long term.
compounders. Yeah,
Mhm.
they don't compound their profit because they live and die by the price of the metal that they produce.
Yeah. And
Um,
because of, I guess, looking forward, there's going to be such a high demand for this. We
yeah,
should see
you know
some
where
positive.
you could get into trouble trying to trade this like between 5 and 11 is if a larger mining company bought them.
Hmm.
That could happen.
Yeah.
I had one stock many years ago called Equinox Minerals. This would have been in 2009, and that stock ended up getting taken out by us
Okay.
for it. There was a bidding war between two companies. So that is my fear of trading stocks like these. But right now we're completely out of it. Um, but I'm hoping it drops to the $9 range and we'll get back in for a trade.
Yeah. And I guess a lot of the other analysts are considering this to be one of the top 20 stocks to purchase under $20 and under.
Yeah, I mean it regularly shows up on if an analyst will come out with their top copper stocks, Hudbay's always
Mhm.
on there.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
free, I mean, there's a bunch of them. You can buy Capstone's another volatile one. Um, Freeport is the big copper pure play. But Hudbay's on there.
Hmm.
So
So,
so we just wanted to talk about one of our trades. We don't do a lot of selling. Um, but this was we've made two sales this year, and this was the second one.
yeah,
So
we'll have to keep an eye on it.
yeah, you bet.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jeff.
Thanks, honey.